India has slipped in rankings in the World Press Freedom Index down to the 150th position from last year's 142nd rank out of 180 countries. Except for Nepal, India is ahead of its neighbours in the ranking, but the index places Pakistan at 157th position, Bangladesh at 162 and Myanmar at 176. According to a report released by Reporters Without Borders, Norway topped the index while Denmark, Sweden ranked second and third respectively. All right, let's bring in some more perspectives. Smita Gupta, senior journalist, is joining us here on the broadcast. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Your reaction to these rankings and the fact that India has slipped at this point?
Well, I'm not surprised that India has slipped in the rankings for press freedom. I think what the government should realize really is that one of the indexes of a democracy is press freedom. And when press freedom is under threat, then it brings a whole, it places a question mark on what sort of democracy we are. In the past year, we have seen 4 journalists being murdered in India for their work as of 1st December 2021. A 5th died on a dangerous assignment. 7 Indian journalists are behind bars as a result of their reporting, as again of 1st December 2021. Lately, we've heard of journalists being stopped at the airport, not being allowed to go. One of them was Rana Ayub. And everybody knows that Rana Ayub has been one of the harshest critics of this government. What sort of picture is this painting before the world? What kind of democracy are we? So and which is why you see attacks, especially cases being filed against the digital media, which is relatively freer than the legacy media, where the owners tend to buckle under whatever the government of the day has to say. All this is not painting, this is also part of the way government is crushing dissent, not just by, by ordinary citizens. How does that help us? I mean, if this government doesn't wish India to be a democracy any longer, that's another matter. But it cannot call itself a democracy and allow this state of affairs to continue. We have the case of Siddique Kappan, a Kerala journalist, who is behind bars because he reported on the Hathras gang rape and because he criticized the government's position on the citizenship bill. I mean, the point is, what is the role of the media? The media's job is to put the government and all political parties, and indeed everything under the country, under a scanner, and then leave it to people to judge. If that is not going to be allowed, then what is the point of a media at all?
Yes, absolutely.
Another point I wish to make is the way things have changed for the media as far as even ordinary information from the government flows to the media. I mean, till this government came into power in 2014, things were very different. First of all, it begins at the top. The Prime Minister of the day would, at one time, at least hold a press conference a year, under the auspices of the Press Information Bureau, where all accredited journalists were permitted to ask questions. The Prime Minister would be taking a group of journalists when he went abroad. On those occasions, there would be at least 1 or 2 occasions when the press could interact directly with the Prime Minister. So it begins at that level. Everything is now sort of, it's in the form of handouts. And finally, the social media is also being used by the government of the day to attack journalists. I mean, there are some very brave journalists who continue to battle it out on the social media, but many journalists have just opted out. It is just what can I say? It is really horrible.
Yes, fair enough. Smita Gupta, thank you so much for joining us with your quick reaction on these rankings.